There's that feeling we get when we have a habit of carrying it alone. That feeling of just not fitting in anywhere. And it seems no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you just don't fit in. So we're going to talk about when you don't fit in and finding power in being different. There's that person you felt was your friend or a group. And they ask you to do things, but then you end up being the uninvited one. Yeah. You tell a friend about a festival or a charity event that you really want to attend, but you didn't want to go alone. So that's why you asked them. They said, "Oh, that sounds great." But then they go with others and don't take you. I'm going to share a high school incident that literally wreaked havoc on my already dithered teenage self-esteem. I was brand new to this high school and I was working on making new friends. I was trying to fit in. Early in the year, in our social economics class, we were conducting a social experiment. Each class member had to randomly choose from a piece of colored paper from a blackened out jar that decided our social status, our social class, right? For the rest of the semester. We had to identify with it and comply with it the entire, again, semester. Literally. The social levels that were presented were blue, orange, and brown, which were upper, middle, and unknown. Well, when it came to my turn to choose, what did I pull out? I pulled out the brown, the unknown. This hit me really hard. I never really felt like I belonged anywhere in the first place and felt pretty much unseen. I was only getting attention if I acted out. Okay, I was a teenager, but, now to have to wear that label and be intentionally treated as an unknown for the rest of the semester, the key word here is intentionally. It broke me and it created such a scenario, not only for the rest of the school year, but I also carried that with me subconsciously for years. We end up resorting to self-sabotage. That unintentional, don't get too close, don't become the overachiever. So I hope you hang with me until the end because we're going to slow this down and take a look at how this ends up shaping us. Most importantly, how can we shift from those feelings of isolation to self-empowerment? Well, let's start with what it feels like when you don't fit in. It can be a sense of kind of watching the world from behind glass. Do you remember the movie The Bubble Boy? I think the first one had John Travolta in it. Well, this feeling comes with self-doubt, kind of like your heart dropped into your gut. You have thoughts like, what's wrong with me? Or if I could only change, I'll find my place. It's so tempting to shrink yourself or to go along with the flow and just fake it, right? To trade your authenticity for acceptance. But let's take a pause here because you're not fitting in. It isn't a flaw. It's actually a sign of difference. Okay, so maybe you're different than your entire class. And then a combination of life experiences, your morals, your values, the way you were raised, the personality or dreams that they just don't align with the majority of people that you've chosen to be around or that you have to be around. And while, yeah, it can feel really lonely, it's also where our superpowers lie. For real. So when you don't fit in, it's not just social discomfort. It can actually feel like grief, like the loss of a connection, of maybe even friendships. You might experience anxiety. If I try too hard, am I going to stand out too much? Am I going to be judged? And then there's anger. Yep. Anger towards yourself, towards the people around you for disengaging with you, and anger towards the systems that seem to only value sameness. And you'll see this a lot in the corporate world. But here's what's underneath all those feelings. It's a deep longing to be seen and valued for who you really are. And that's not only normal, really, it's universal. Every human being wants to matter somewhere and somehow, to share space with other people who actually get it, who get you. So what would it look like if you stopped trying to erase the parts of you that don't fit in? And instead, you can start honoring them. Well, if this is you, and if you're still listening and you're nodding along with me, I'm here to offer a few tools for moving from that disempowerment to self-acceptance and an increase in your internal pride. So let's start off with name the difference. What is your difference? Is your age a factor? Are you too pretty? Are you not pretty enough? Are you too nice? Are you too giving of yourself, sometimes to a fault? Put a name on it. Even if you have to name it Alice, put a name on it. And then journal. I love this part. Reflect on what makes you feel different. Possibly it's your background, your passions. Maybe it's the way that you see the world. Again, putting a name on it takes it out of the realm of shame and puts it into the light of awareness, your superpower. And what if your uniqueness that you've described, that you've put a name on, is actually your superpower? So what you could do is find yourself some micro community, like a club at school or a small group of like-minded people, instead of seeking acceptance everywhere or expecting acceptance wherever you go. If you're able to, look for the small places where you do feel that spark of connection. Maybe it's an online group or, again, a club or a creative project, even if you have that one trusted friend. And keep in mind, as we grow, our superpowers change. Our friendship circles change. Remember, we don't need to fit in everywhere. Sometimes, it's just a handful of those genuine connections. They mean so much more and are so much more powerful than maybe wide array of friends or shallow acceptance. Practice your self-compassion. Always remember, no matter what, you have yourself and you're always going to be your own best friend. When that voice of doubt or that loneliness starts popping up, offer yourself the same kindness that you would your best friend. Again, remind yourself that you are your own best friend first and foremost. And that not fitting in, well, it doesn't mean that you're broken. It actually means that you're brave enough to be yourself and celebrate those wins. Notice those moments when your difference, it brings something special to the table. Maybe it's a new creative idea or just a fresh perspective on a current situation, or it's even a unique solution to something that you felt others were pondering about. Go ahead and write them down. Let your differences be your source of pride, not pain. And this is without ego. One of my favorite things is seeking inspiration from stories. I found my inspiration after a very life-changing situation through a book, the biography of Edgar Cayce, written in 1962. And it was a little paperback book. And when the book fell open, it opened to pages that were relative to what I was experiencing at that moment in time. And I got to see how he went through it by reading his perspective. And trust me, it did help. So go ahead and read about or listen to journeys of other people who they have felt out of place, how they came to their own superpower. And then you'll find you're not alone. Some of the most creative, impactful people in history, they actually started right where you are right now. So today, even if it's just for today, if you're feeling out of place, remember the world needs a multitude and variety of voices, stories, and different ways of being, of existing. And your worth, it's not defined by how easily you can blend in, but by the courage it takes to be your intelligent, wildly beautiful self. So if you stayed with me till the end, thank you. Thank you for sharing this space with me. I'm so grateful for you. And if any of this resonated with you and you found comfort here with me today, consider sharing this episode with a friend who, might need it. And as always, remember, you belong right here, right now, just as you are. You were born for a reason. You have a purpose. So go ahead, keep your journal close. Keep your insights amazing. Stay true to yourself. And most of all, be your fantabulous self. Remember, algorithm counts. Go ahead, leave your comment below. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button to be notified of any new episodes. And don't hesitate to reach out if you find yourself in need of some empowering tools or ideas, or if you've tried things and they just don't seem to be working. I'm here for you. Go ahead, reach out to me. I'm happy to spend some time with you. Most of all, thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Just Colleen, and have a fantabulous day.